What's up, YouTube? Team Movies here with Jessica Chastain returning to the big screen this week in It Chapter 2. I decided to do my top 10 favorite Jessica Chastain movies. Because how on earth she hasn't won an Oscar yet is still beyond me. I know she's been nominated for numerous times, but sad to say she's never actually won an Oscar. Which is a real shame because I think she's a phenomenal actress and she's been in some really great stuff. She's been in some not so great stuff also, but she's been in more good than bad. So anyway, with that being said, here are my top 10 favorite Chastain movies. Alright. Okay, coming in at number 10 will be the film Miss Salome, where Jessica Chastain plays the role of Elizabeth Salome, who's pretty much willing to bend rules for her clients and all. And she pretty much remain as one of the most sought after lobbyists in Washington D.C. And she ends up being asked to help oppose a bill that will oppose this regulation on firearms and all. And she ends up pretty much joining a scrappy firm that pretty much represents it and all. And it's a really interesting flick. I didn't love it as most people did. There's critics who, on Rotten Tomatoes, if I'm not mistaken, it has a 75% or something like that. I mean, I thought the film was okay. Not best movie of the year or nothing like that. But I thought it was fine. I mean, Chastain, I thought was phenomenal here. I mean, it is, based on a true story, so there's that too. Someone's calling my name. Anyway. But, yeah, I thought Chastain really played the part perfectly. She was great in this film. I mean, she's Chastain after all. And the film was also directed by John Madden, who also gave us Shakespeare in Love and all. He did a pretty cool job at directing. You also had a few other cast members like Mark Strong, Gugu Mafara was in this, Allison Pill. You had Michael Stolberg, Jake Lacey, Sam Waterston, and as well as John Lithgow. Really, yeah, really cool cast here. I mean, great performances by Chastain, and yeah, if you guys haven't seen Miss Salome yet, I think give it a go. I think you'll enjoy it. Alright. Coming in at number 9 is going to be Mama. Now, if you wonder why Jessica got the part of Adele Beverly in Chapter 2, part of the reason is because she actually worked with Andy Muschietti once. Wait. Sorry about that. Anyway, the main reason why Chastain really got the part of Beverly in the new It sequel is, I mean, of course she's a great actress, so that's it. But the main reason is because she has worked with Andy Muschietti before on the horror film Mama, which was produced by Guillermo del Toro. I mean, this movie was creepy. I mean, it's pretty much like a supernatural thriller that tells the haunting of these two little girls who pretty much disappeared into the woods the day after their mother was murdered. And when they end up being rescued later and begin a new life, they end up finding that someone or something still wants to come back and come back to haunt them. And so this guy played by Nicola Costaguado, named Uncle Lucas, and his girlfriend Annabelle, played by Chastain, pretty much ends up adopting them. And then when they bring the girls back to their home, creepy and crazy things end up happening, and the ghost of their mama really wants them and all. Mama was one creep fest of a film. I mean, especially for a PG-13 rated horror film. It. I mean, I guess I can see why it was PG-13, but yeah, it was creepy. And Jessica Chastain, she played a gothic girl, so So Chastain, I gotta say, looked very different in black hair because I'm always used to seeing her in like red hair. So it was pretty cool seeing her in. So it was really cool to see her in like blackish hair, and she of course played like a rocker in this as well. So there's that too. And the mother looked creepy as heck. But still, Chastain was. I mean, I believe this was like her first actual horror film, if I'm not mistaken, and she nailed it out of the park. I mean, Chastain in a horror, that's pretty interesting to watch, you know. And Andy Muschietti did a really wonderful job at directing this film. It was one of the creepiest horror films I saw that year. If you guys still, if you're still never seen Mama, it's a real impressive film. All right, coming in at number 8 is going to be the film Take Shelter. Now, in the film, it stars at Michael Shannon as this guy named Curtis. Anyway, anyway, Michael Shannon, plays this guy named Curtis LaForge, who like lives in a small Ohio town with his wife, played by Chastain, as well as their daughter named Tova Stewart. And so, like, money is of course ends up being tight and all. But Curtis ends up having a terrifying dream about an apocalypse that like drains him more, and so he decides to he pretty much begins building a storm shelter in the backyard, and his like strange behavior causes like tensions in their marriage and all. And it's a really interesting film. Like it was it was directed by Jeff. It was directed by Jeff Nichols, who also gave us the movies Mud, Loving, and oh yeah, and Midnight Special. He did a pretty cool job with this film. I really liked his. I really liked Shan. I really liked Micah Shannon's romantic chemistry with Chastain. They had really great chemistry with one another. And the one who played like the daughter, I thought was great. This, he kind of has major issues and all, but Ida Shan still was great as a character. And I believe this was I could be mistaken, but I think this was Jeff Nichols' like directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken. I know it was a really solid directorial debut. And yeah, if you guys never seen Take Shelter yet, it's a really decent one. I mean, yeah, pretty decent. All right. Coming in at number 7 is going to A Most Violent Year. Now, pretty much the title of this film refers to 1981, which is like which has been considered the most crime-ridden year in New York's New York's history and all. And in it, Chastain plays this pretty much this wife of a man who's like heating oil trucks that have been like hijacked and all, and she wants him to like fight back and all. And so like Oscar Isaac is also the owner of like a pretty much of a up and coming company that like suffers from a hijacking of several trucks and all. And so like you got one of the drivers named Julian, played by Iles Gaba, who pretty much has been like who was like severely beating when his ends up being beaten when his oil truck ends up getting hijacked by this unknown assassin and all. And so, yeah, you also got Dave Aiello as like this district attorney who pretty much seems to determine to expose price fixing, tax evasion, and other illegalities committed by borrowers and all. And yeah, Most Violent Year it was released by A24 and was not and Chastain got an Oscar nomination, like not an Oscar, a Golden Globe nomination, but she didn't get an Oscar nomination. It was directed by J.C. Yeah, it was directed by J.C. Chandler, who I thought I know J.C. Chandler did a really great job of directing this film. Oscar Isaac was great. You also had Albert. You had Albert Brooks was in this. Really solid cast. Interesting story behind it, and it takes place like each month of the year in awe. And yeah, it shows of how much of a violent year 1981 was. And yeah, but if you guys never seen a most violent year yet, give that one a go. All right, coming in at number 6 is going to Lawless. Now, the film takes place in 1931. It's about the Bondurant brothers of Franklin County, Virginia, and they're played by and you got Tom Hardy as the middle brother, Forrest. He's pretty much like the brain of this their operation, and you also got the older brother Howard, played by Jason Clarke, who's pretty much like Braun and who's pretty much like the Braun of the siblings, and then you got their younger brother Jack, played by Shia LaBeouf, who's like the lookout and all, and they pretty much like do violent stuff, and they also rob people and all. But anyway, Chastain this actually plays like ex this ex dancer and this waitress, if you will, who ends up pretty much falling for Forrest, who's of course the Tom Hardy character, and I quite like Chastain in this. It's really mostly Tom Hardy's and Shia LaBeouf and Jason Clarke's film, but I thought Chastain was, I thought she was anyway, I thought Chastain was great in this, and her like dynamic chemistry with Tom Hardy was great. Jason Clarke was terrific. This this movie is also a part western, so it has like a western feel to it. And I mean, it's a really cool period piece film. It's very violent. When I mean violent. And yeah, it's a really interesting film. Like, if you guys still never seen Lawless, it got released in 2012. It's a really decent one. You also had Guy Pearce as a villain in this. Mia Wasikowska was great in this. You also had, oh yeah, Dane DeHaan was in this. Really great, solid cast, and really interesting story. And yeah, kind of underrated too. Like, sadly, the movie is from the Weinstein Company, so it's a little awkward to watch it now because of Harvey Weinstein and whatnot. But man, back then it was a really underrated film, and no one really talks about Lawless as much, but it's really decent. All right, coming in at number 5 is going to Interstellar. Now, Interstellar, it's Christopher Nolan's great sci-fi flick. I mean, Matthew McConaughey ends up being stuck in space, and he, of course, travels to the inner limit of time and all. And Chastain actually plays his older daughter Murph, while Mackenzie Foy plays the younger version. I mean, this Christopher Nolan's amazing flick, just terrific. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan after all. I mean, what do you expect? But I mean, Matthew McConaughey was, I know he was remarkable in this film. You also had, Anne Hathaway was great in this. Michael Caine. Who else? Oh yeah, Casey Affleck was in this. Really great, solid cast, and Chastain, like, she's no stranger with, like, obviously she is no stranger with the, science fiction, outer space, genre. And I thought Chastain was just remarkable here, and like her back and forth chemistry with Matthew McConaughey was just amazing. And yeah, if you guys never seen Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, it's really good. Okay, coming in at number 4, we got The Martian. Now, Interstellar was not the only space movie that Jessica Chastain appeared in. Like a year after Interstellar got released, she appeared in another space adventure film, and that was The Martian, which, by the way, also featured Matt Damon. Matt Damon was in both Interstellar and he was in The Martian. So, and not to mention, The Martian also won the Golden Globe for Best Comedy. So, according to the Golden Globe, it was one of the funniest films of that year, which I still don't get, but whatever. Anyway, now in it, Chastain, plays pretty much Alyssa Lewis, who's like pretty much like an officer in the United States Navy, who's also like a mission commander, and she's also one of the ones who's trying to bring Matt Damon's character back home and all. I mean, Martian is just remarkable. You got great performances by Matt Damon. You got great performances by Kristen Wiig. A few other people you got in this. You had Sebastian Stan, Kate Mara. Really great, great supporting characters. Really, Scott directed the film. He did a great job. Such a really great space flick, and it's of course based on a book, which I never read the book, but whatever. But yeah, if you guys seriously never checked out The Martian yet, they play on TV a whole lot. But give The Martian a go. It's a really decent one. All right, coming in at number 3. Lots of people probably has this as their number 1 favorite, but it's not really like I kind of like chewing one slightly better. But my number 3 favorite is going to the Aaron Sorkin directed film, Molly's Game. Now, Molly Game is, of course, based on a and it tells the story of Molly Bloom, who's like an Olympic class skier who also ran the world's most exclusive high stake poker game for like a decade and all before like being arrested in the middle of the night by FBI agents and all. And like her, players also include Hollywood royalty, sports stars, business titans, and all. And you got Idris Elba as pretty much like her criminal defense lawyer and all. You had Kevin Costner was in this, Micah Cera. The one who plays Steve on Stranger Things, he was in this. Molly's Game is a great poker film. I mean, I like the high stakes poker that was featured in this. Chastain was just remarkable here. I'm still a little surprised she didn't score an Oscar nomination for her performance because she was actually that good in this. And she also really nailed out the podcast Molly Bloom. Like, I didn't know much about the whole story before seeing the movie, but man, what she did was crazy. And yeah, if none of you are never seen Molly's Game by now, check that one out. It's a really decent poker flick. Like, I don't really see much. I haven't really seen much poker movies, maybe except for Rounders. But I would say Molly's Game is the best poker movie I have ever seen. It's a really great one. All right. Okay, my number 2 favorite. All right, my second favorite Chastain movie is going to the one that actually scored her first ever Oscar nomination, and that is going to The Help, directed by the great Tate Taylor, starring Emma Stone, Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer. Of course, they play like these 3 different extraordinary women in Mississippi during the 1960s, and they end up building like an unlikely friendship around a secret writing project that pretty much like breaks rules that put them all at risk and all. And in it, Chastain like Chastain, of course, earned her first ever Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress, and she, of course, was one of the women who pretty much treats the housekeeper, very well and all. She is actually one of the most, kindest person in this film. And Chastain's chemistry with Octavia Spencer, I really love their chemistry with one another. I mean, Chastain scored her Oscar nomination for a reason. She was that great in this movie, and her lots of her dialogue was amazing. And kind of funny to see her and Bryce Dallas Howard in this because everyone always say that Chastain and Bryce Dallas Howard look alike, and I'm not lying, they literally do look alike. I'm not for real. When Bryce Dallas Howard and Jessica Chastain was on screen with one another, at times I couldn't tell which one was Chastain or which one was Howard. Like seriously. But The Help it's based on a book, of course. It's great. Like if you guys never seen The Help by now, it scored loads of Oscar nominations. I believe it won some. If I'm not, oh yeah, it won an Octavia Spencer won her Best Supporting Actress for this. So yeah, but The Help is a really great one, and it'll also make you not want to eat another pie, by the way. But anyway, all right, my number one favorite Chastain movie of all time is going to Catherine Bigelow's film Zero Dark Thirty. Of course, this is the movie about the killing of Osama bin Laden and all. Zero Dark Thirty, scored a couple of Oscar nominations. It actually won some. I can't remember the ones it won now. I believe Chastain scored an Oscar nomination for this too, if I'm not mistaken. I got to check that. And I mean, in it, she of course plays the dedicated female operative who pretty much proves instrumental in finally locating Bin Laden in May 2011 and all. And I thought Chastain was just remarkable here. She played the role just perfectly. I mean, Catherine Bigelow directed her really great here. I mean, I think, I'm surprised she didn't win her Oscar for this. I actually thought Chastain was that great that I think she probably could have easily won her Oscar. Catherine Bigelow did a great job at directing this movie. I mean, she of course ended up falling off the Hurt Locker with this, and she did a great job with this film. And you also had a few other cast members like Joe Egerton was in this. You had Jason Clarke, who was of course in Lawless, was great. You had Chris Pratt. You had the late great James Gandolfini was in this. Mark Strong, Edgar Ramirez, Kyle Chandler, Frank Grillo. I mean, and probably one of the best torture scenes I've ever seen in a movie, where Jason Clarke's character was torturing the terrorist so he could get some answers and all. One of these days I'll probably do my favorite torture scene, and that's gonna be in that list. Like, holy cow, he really screwed that guy up. But Chastain was just I really love Chastain in this. And if you guys still never seen Zero Dark Thirty yet, it's a really great one. But that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Miss Alone. 9, Mama. 8, Take Shelter. 7, Most Violent Year. 6, Lawless. 5, Interstellar. 4, The Martian. 3, Molly's Game. 2, The Help. 1, Zero Dark Thirty. Now, she's been in loads of other stuff as well. Now, her last film was also with James McAvoy, and that was Dark Phoenix. Probably that's her worst film. Dark Phoenix was just awful. Of course, a few other stuff included, she was also in Huntsman Winter's War, which was terrible. She was in Crimson Peak, which lots of people actually like Crimson Peak. I'm actually one of those, to me, I think Crimson Peak is Guillermo del Toro's worst film, in my opinion. She was also in The Tree of Life with Brad Pitt and Sean Penn. Jolene, which I think I've seen that. I got that check. She was in Miss Julie, Texas Killing Field. She, I want to see her new movie Eve. That sounds really cool. Her new movie 355 sounds cool with Simon Kinberg directing. Not all that excited for it because after Dark Phoenix, I'm a little cautious with Simon Kinberg's work. But of course, she was in Madagascar 3. That was pretty good. Seed Stolen. That was not all that good. But anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What is your favorite Jessica Chastain movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is C Movie signing off.